Good morning. My name is Madhusudhan Kashyap. Here to talk about LIPI today. Starting off, this is just the philosophy that we base the entire restaurant on. Uh, right from our food to our hospitality and service, everything is based on this. And we kind of look at it like the cornerstone of where we want to begin from and where we want to keep progressing in the future. So, as cliched as it sounds, this dream has been with us for like about 4 to 5 years now, and all of us at the core team we're just 24 years of age. So uh, it was a real uphill task. We knew nothing. We were just graduated from hotel school. We went to work in different places. We have about a year of work experience, and then we were like, okay, we know we have something that's real. We have a good plan. We have a good philosophy with this, and we should open a restaurant. And we did, and yeah, dreams do come true. So, Varun and I, our journey began all the way back in 2012 when we joined MS Ramaya College of Hotel Management. Uh, we met on the first day during orientation. We became really good friends. And then we started going to competitions and stuff, and we knew we had similar ideas and stuff like that. So, started discussing more about it, found out we had more things in common. And then that ideation process began somewhere around 2014, 2015. And then once we graduated, we went abroad to work in different places. I went to San Francisco to work at a three Michelin star restaurant called Quince, and Warren went to Bangkok to spend some time at a restaurant called Gagan, which is Asia's #1 restaurant currently, and also ranked #5 on the world's 50 best restaurants list. We knew we wanted to build a restaurant. We knew it wanted to be in Bangalore because that's where we're from. We wanted to build a restaurant that represents the city, also contribute something to it, and maybe also put us on the national dining or scene, whatever, like the national dining scene. So we had 3 locations in mind. We had Indranagar, Sadashiv Nagar, and Koramangala. So, but we really knew we wanted to be in Indranagar, so we started looking for places, walked around Indranagar for around 3 days, and then we really didn't find anything which was fitting within our budget. So we still just kept looking, and then we are almost given up. We happened to stumble across this plot there. We were really happy with the location. It's in a beautiful street, and we just felt that this was the perfect place to open a restaurant like this. We just had an architect, and we blindly trusted her and just kept following whatever she said. But we knew how the design wanted to be. We always wanted to have this 14-seater restaurant which could, help us cater to each guest very individually and create a unique experience for them. It's again, we only take 14 reservations a night, and it's through reservations only. And it's a really fun place to come in. You have all different kinds of people coming in. There's a lot of interaction happening. It's hospitality versus service. There's a worrying trend that I observe where hospitality or service has come down to just being able to welcome you and being able to take your order down correctly. Like the human element of it is missing. Any restaurant that you go to, uh, you just, yeah, you're just there, you order something, you get it, you're gone. Maybe you like the food, you didn't, but like, did you really have an experience there? And that's what we wanted to bring into LIPI from the hospitality side of it. Making or creating a world where a guest comes in for 2.5 hours and forgets everything else that's happening in their life. We wanted to create that magical place where they come in and just have a really, really good time. We really want to bring in that human element to it, make people feel warm, comfortable, and make it a nice spot for people to come in and just exchange ideas or whatever. I'll just hand it over to Varun to take you through the next.
So, Madhu explained you about how the restaurant is about dining with different people on the same table, which you don't see often. So that's the community part we are trying to get into the restaurant scene. And with food, what we're trying to do is something very, I won't say unique. People have been doing it for generations, but we have forgotten about it completely. So the first philosophy or the thought we based the food at LIPI is about terroir and eating habits. Terroir meaning the place you are in, and eating habits are is the culture that you're grown up eating some really basic things in life. I spent this time in Gokarna. So it's a coastal town in Karnataka, if you all know about it. Yeah. So, so this place has this tribe called Halaki tribe. And what these people do is grow vegetables for a living and nothing else. So they grow vegetables. Every morning they come to the market, they sit on the road, and every person in the town goes to them and buys the produce. If a small town like Gokarna had this concept of sustainability, if these people, these small town people can think about something so unique and something so noble, why can't we? So that's one thing we wanted to really bring into Bangalore's dining scene. So right now we are working with a couple of farmers in Bangalore, one being a farm called Slow Farm, and a couple of other farmers who are our neighbors also, who supply the best produce you can find in Bangalore. And the second thing we base food at LIPI is, what does memory taste like? We eat a ice lolly, and we always go back to our childhood memories and say, oh wow, this is so good, I used to eat it in my school or my childhood. But we never think about that when you go to a restaurant, right? Do you really see something that really evokes the sense of nostalgia anywhere? No, you don't. So that's one thing that's really important for LIPI to do. So what we try to do is, we talk to a lot of people to take in their ideas of food, their philosophy of food, and we try to take in techniques, different ingredients, the way they've eaten their food, and the way they grew up seeing different things evolve. So we take these ideas and put them in a format where we can represent it at LIPI. The third idea about food at LIPI is about the roots, going back to our basic senses. Again, these things are completely forgotten and we are going back to the same old Japanese or Italian food, but we are not coming back to the basic Indian food. I don't understand why. So that's going back to the roots and trying to understand why we have these eating habits is another reason why we are doing LIPI, and like farmers are the real artisans for us, right? So, and it's about supporting them, and it's about giving the idea of how these things can happen through farmers. And we don't know where our potato came from, we don't know where our tomato came from, like the kind of effort that goes behind to grow anything. That's about the artisans we work with, the farmers. And also we work with another person called Rima Reddy. So she owns the place called Slow Farm. So this woman is a working mother, and she's really passionate about growing things. So it's about building this community of farmers and artisans who can supply these things that people don't generally see, and these have been part of our culture and part of our cuisine for so long. And yeah, that's the idea behind bringing back these things together and building this community. And one more thing we're really passionate about is the serviceware we use at the restaurant. The pieces you see there, the bowl and the plate, and we have 12 other pieces at the restaurant right now. And the wooden plate you see there, we wanted to get a lot of wooden articles at the restaurant, and we really wanted to get them from Chanpatna. So Chanpatna is known for a lot of toys and whatnot, but nobody knows, or nobody would have thought we can go there for hotel serviceware. So we went there, we met this guy, Suhail. So he made some great service pieces. And yeah, it's about, again, we are someone who didn't know about these things that can exist in Bangalore. Now we took a step forward and said, see, this is what we have in Bangalore, and we can do this. We can do this. We can build a community around restaurant. So the whole ideation process is to eat mindfully, to know what you're eating, to know why you're eating, and to nurture yourself, nurture your soul when you're eating. And if the diners at LIPI change for good with the ideas we try to put into our food, our service, our hospitality, we'd be a happy family. That's about LIPI, guys. Thank you so much. We have a 12-course menu right now. When a diner is at LIPI, he's sitting there and he eats a bite. he immediately we have had 60 diners till now in a month, and everybody says, oh yeah, I had this somewhere. Yes, I had this somewhere, but they don't know that where, right? So it's about connecting these dots in your mind. And the second thing would be taking inspiration from a lot of curries. Curries is me, so all the bites you see in the restaurant are based on some curry from some part of the world, but in a way that we haven't seen it or we haven't thought about it. So once we start the meal, we have three bites which start with the key elements of the cuisine called sweet, sour, bitter, tang, and I told you that, right? Uh, so this is to evoke the sensory feeling in your mouth, and then we progress on to fresher courses, and then we go on to heavier meats, and then we end with desserts. So every dish has an ingredient that Bangalore hasn't seen before. Every dish. The dishes that you eat during different seasons that have been created in the culture are made for a reason, right? Like you eat a lot of butter during the winters, you eat you drink or eat something that cools your body down in summers and things like that. I personally look from the farmer's eye. These farmers are getting affected about not being able to grow what they want, right? And they're struggling. Like small farmers are struggling, so it's definitely bad for the dining scene, first of all. And in nutrition wise, it's a lot of chemicals. Like we all know, it's a lot of pesticides. Like how is it good for our body? Only if we turn back and say yes to organic produce, people who grow things in a smaller scale. Yes, it's very sad that it's expensive because of the process they go through to grow these things, but we need to encourage these people, and we need to move forward and set a foot down to better way of living, to eat mindfully. So everything at the restaurant is seasonal, and we have a patch of land on the outskirts in near Vartur. So we grow everything that's seasonal there, and also like I said, we have two farmers who supply the produce for us, and they grow only seasonal ingredients. Yes. Whenever people talk about sourcing organic produce from a farmer, bringing farm to fork ingredients to the restaurant, yeah, like a lot of middlemen are involved. We wanted to eliminate the middlemen completely, right? And that's when we decided we need to have our own patch of land. We're still trying to establish this community of people. I mean, right now we have only three, but I am in talks with a couple others from I already spoke to a farmer in Gokarna, and we want to get ingredients from him, so no middleman there. And I want to go to Odisha, like this border town in Odisha to Andhra Pradesh, and they also I'm also in talks with a guy there who is really passionate about sending his ingredients to us.
One thing that happened when we were ideating the restaurant was we wanted to build a 30-seater restaurant, like proper, multiple tables, white linen thing. And then we actually realized we're nobodies in the industry. So this idea slowly started growing, and it just made more and more sense. Uh, right now, we're a 14-seater restaurant. It's also because of a few constraints that we faced, but we took those negatives and turned them into positives. And we're really happy working in the space we are right now. And every day going in is a joy. But yes, we would like to expand to it because we just want to get more people aware of what's happening and also really contribute a great restaurant to the city. It means script or writing. So one day, Varun and I were sitting in Gokarna. We were a little drunk, and then we were like, we need to come up with a name for the restaurant. We kept thinking what best describes us, and what we were doing felt very new. If you take even like national dining culture, there are a few restaurants which do tasting menu formats and everything, but this sort of communal dining, limited reservations, a very exclusive experience, and also representing Indian food in a way that's never been done before with restaurants. It all seemed very new, and we all speak Kannada, so like this name was in my head, and we were like we haven't stumbled upon it, and then we were like this makes perfect sense, so we decided with LIPI. Yeah. I'll just talk a little bit about it and then hand it over to Warren, who can speak about it best. We're not serving any seafood other than dried coconut prawns in the restaurant currently because we don't want to bring in seafood from Mangalore or Udupi or something every day. So that's just one of the philosophies that we really want to bear in mind when we were building this restaurant. But he can elaborate on it very well.
Yeah. Yeah, that explains that we are reducing the carbon footprint as much as possible, though it's not completely avoidable at the current scenario. But coming back to our other restaurants making a conscious effort to do it, I don't think so. It's just not about the restaurants taking a step to make a change about the carbon footprint scene. It's also about the diner. To understand that we need to dine locally, we need to understand what we're eating. It's about the diner also. It needs to come from the general mass, yeah.
Certain things taste better when they're eaten where they're grown. And we really need to start embracing that and start accepting our own ingredients. We don't need asparagus and truffles and things like that every day in our cuisine.
We have done too.
Very local organic stuff that you see in everyday markets, but nobody would think of putting those things in a restaurant. Like, why not? There's potatoes in every restaurant. We don't have potatoes in our restaurant.
So certain dishes take a week. So on certain dishes we use some powders and crumbles. So we make a mushroom powder, tomato powder, and some pumpkin dust, curry leaf powder, and a lot of dried stuff. So we start a week in advance to make. Say if I have to make a meal today, I would have started the last Sunday. And few dishes take 3 days in advance. Like we do a pulled lamb course. We have a tomato dish on the menu, which takes half a day of my time. Like I just do this, and my fellow cook does the other stuff. So things like that. The preparation time varies.
And also, one more thing that we implemented while opening this restaurant was a system called ticketing. So it's just basically like how you buy a ticket to a movie and go see it. And we did this so that we had information beforehand of how many people we were expecting and how we could prepare for it. And more importantly, reduce wastage. So we get the information and we prep only for so many people. Even if we have to put an all-nighter, that's what we do. We finished at 3 a.m. in the morning today. So there are nights like that, but it's worth it. And yeah.